we are going to keep on applying A to this. So let us find the general formula for A. So if you want to apply on the general vector, let us see how A behaves. Let x, y be the coordinates of capital X. So this will take this to x plus y and 2x. So let us use this formula and see what happens to x naught. So what is Ax naught? It is 1 plus 0 and 2, that is equal to 1, 2. What we do at this stage, 2 is the one with maximum component. We divide both the terms by 2. So numerator becomes, the next approximation becomes 0.5 and 1. After all, we are looking for a scalar multiple of the eigenvector. So this that we are dividing by 2 has no effect in finding the corresponding eigenvector. Next, let us take x1, the next iterate. That will give us x plus y, so 1.5, and 2x, 2x will give you 1. So we have to divide now by 1.5. So this becomes 1 and 1.5 is 2 by 3 approximately. So this is equal to 1 and 0.67. Let us find the next approximation. That will give us 1.67 and 2. Again we divide by 2. So this becomes 0.83 and 1. So if you carry out this process, after a few stages, you will realize that both the coordinates tend to almost very close to 1. It will be 0.9998, 0.98 and so on. You can try this exercise. So as k becomes very large, this approaches the value 1, 1. So we find that 1, 1 is the dominant eigenvector. What is the corresponding eigenvalue? Let us apply the Rayleigh coefficient method. What is A of 1, 1? It will give you 2, 1. So we need to find 2, 1 dotted with 1, 1, 1, 1 dotted with 1, 1. That will give you 2 into 1 plus 1, that is 3 divided by 2. So this is the required eigenvector, eigenvalue corresponding to the eigenvalue 1, 1. Please look into the PPT. Sorry, I must have made an error. Eigenvalue should come out somewhere. The A of 1, 1 is 2, 2. I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. It is 2, 2. So 2, 2 dotted with 1, 1 gives you 4 divided by 2. That is equal to 2. So the corresponding eigenvalue is 2. So in this method, whenever there is a dominant eigenvector, first we can find that, use the Rayleigh coefficient method and find the corresponding eigenvalue. What is the use of this in biological modeling? When you construct population models, we often come across what is known as a Leslie matrix. What is a Leslie matrix? It is a matrix method for representing dynamics of age or size of structured populations. Like today there are so many girls in this age group, so many girls in this age group, so many girls in this age group. What will be the situation after 5 years? What will be the situation after 10 years? You know, the government of Gujarat is very concerned about the declining number of the girl child. So how do we calculate how many girls will be there, let us say in 2020, let us say in 2030. The Leslie matrix gives a method for constructing such models and predicting what will be the future population. It combines population processes, births and deaths into a single model, generally applied to populations with annual breeding cycle, and by convention it uses only female part of the population. How the female population is transformed over years. The model described is commonly referred to as the Leslie model. It was developed by a person called Leslie, that is why it's called Leslie model. It models the female portion of a population and starts by assuming that the maximum age that can be attained by any female of the species is L. For example, I think mostly we can take what is the reproductive age, maximum reproductive age, that can be taken as L also. Then we divide the interval 0L into n equal subintervals. The population is divided up to n classes by age as shown in the following table. Look at the classes. The first age class is from 0 years to L by N years. Second class starts from L by N to 2L by N. So these are equally spaced classes. We want to create a model that lets us relate the present population distribution to the population distribution in the past and to predict what will happen in the future. We use the vector x to represent the population at some particular point in time. Supposing the x vector is x1, x2, etc., xn, the kth component of x is the number of females in the kth age class. The populations are measured at equally spaced time intervals. We will use xk to represent the population at the end of the time interval when t equal to tk. Vector x0 will be the initial population vector. The Leslie model demands that the time between measurements will be exactly the same as the length of age intervals used to classify the population. For example, if L is 20 and number of age classes is 5, the time between measurements would be 4 years. What are the classes? L is 20, so 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16 and 16 to 20. These are the 5 classes. So we measure the population initially, then every 4 years we measure, then the Leslie model can be created. How is the Leslie model created? The only factors that will be used to determine how the populations change are birth, death and aging. That is, we will not take into account factors like immigration or emigration. Making the time between population measurements equal to the length of age intervals guarantees that all the females in the age class at t equal to tk plus 1 were in the class at t equal to tk. Each class will go on to the next class in this model. What are the parameters? The birth coefficients ai, I running from 1 to n, denote the average number of females born to a single female while she is a member of the ith age class. For example, if L is 20 and n is 5, there would be 5 birth coefficients, and A3, for example, would be the average number of female babies born to a female between the ages of 8 and 12. This need not be for the data can be for any animal. We also define the parameters BI, they call the fecundity rate, that is by saying that BI is the fraction of the females in class I that can be expected to survive and pass on into the next class. For example, now there are 100 females in the age class 4 and B4 is 3 by 4. Then we would predict that there would be 75 females in class 5 the next time the population is measured. Our assumption that no member of the population lives beyond L years means Bn equal to 0. Now let us see how to construct this matrix. Let us start with supposing initially there are n classes, and in the first class there are x10 people. In the second class, the number is x20, in the third class x30, and in the last class xn0. This is at the initial time. Whenever we start our measurement, this is the number of people in each of these classes. We will denote it by the single vector x at 0 by x10, x20, etc., xn0. Okay, then at the next time interval when we measure, what we will have is x1. How do we calculate x1? What will be there in the first class? In the first class, it will be all the babies born to the respective females in each of the previous classes. Supposing the fecundity rate is A1, A2, etc., An of each of these classes, the number of babies which are born will be A1 x10 plus A2 x20 plus etc. An xn0. So this will be the number of people in the very first class. What about the second class? In the second class, only those who were in the first class, they will pass on to the second class according to the ratio. Now what happens? Those who were in the first class, out of them, the proportion is only B1, that many survive. So in the second class, now we will have B1, X1, 0. In the next class, we will have B2, X2, 0, and so on. In the last class, we will have Bn minus 1, Xn minus 1, 0. Why? Whoever were in this class, proportion of them pass on to the next class. The last class, there is no contribution because they are beyond the age span. So this is going to be the vector which represents at the end of the time period 1. So can we put it in the matrix form? Let us call this matrix L in honor of Leslie. What will be the matrix representation of this equation? It will give you A1, A2, An. Then we can write x1 as L of x0, that is equal to B1 0 0 0 0 B2 0 0 0 Bn minus 1 0 operating on x1 0 x2 0 etc. xn 0. So x1 can be calculated by applying the matrix L to the initial population vector. This matrix which we have written, this is known as a Leslie matrix. Now what happens? What is x2? How do we get x2? By applying L once again to x1, we will get x2 and so on. Please look at the PowerPoint. So the general Leslie matrix looks like this. I have created a model. Please look at the model. Before that, okay, one minute. Please see here, see your teleprinters. If we want to calculate x at the time interval k, we have to apply L k times. So this will give you L k working on x0. Supposing L is 15 and we make it into 3 age groups. So what are the 3 age groups? Age 0 to 5, age 5 to 10 and 10 to 15. And supposing these are the parameters. What are the parameters? A1 is 0, A2 is 4, A3 is 3, B1 is 0.5 and B2 is 0.25. So supposing we start with an initial population, we assume that in each of the 3 age classes there are 1000 people. So what happens? How many people are there at the end of 5 years? There are 7000 people in the age group 0 to 5. There are 500 people in the age group 5 to 10 and so on. So in this manner, we have calculated again at the end of 10 years and at the end of 15 years. This is at the end of 10 years, what is the population distribution? This is at the end of 15 years. In this manner, we are able to predict the population. But the question that comes is that can we predict what happens to the population? Will it eventually be increasing or will it be decreasing or is it going to obtain a steady state? So that is what we have to find out, and that we see. For doing that, we use the concept of dominant eigenvalue. Dominant eigenvalues give a criterion for deciding which kind of behavior a particular model will exhibit. This is the basic theorem that we use for this. A Leslie matrix under certain conditions has a single dominant eigenvalue. This eigenvalue is always a positive number and essentially determines the long-term behavior of the model. Let me show you how we can prove that a Leslie matrix has a dominant eigenvalue. Let us write a small size Leslie matrix. Let us write A1, A2, A3, B1, 0, 0, 0, B2, 0. Let us take this matrix. Let us form its characteristic polynomial. What is the characteristic polynomial of this matrix? I will write the characteristic polynomial. This characteristic polynomial looks like chi L lambda looks like minus lambda cube plus a1 lambda squared plus a2 b1 lambda plus a3 b1 b2. If you calculate for a fourth order matrix, your result will be chi L lambda. For a fourth order Leslie matrix will be lambda power 4 minus a1 lambda cube minus a2 b1 lambda squared minus a3 b1 b2 lambda plus minus a4 b1 b2 b3. Generalizing from this, let me write the nth order characteristic polynomial. It looks like p lambda equal to, I have removed the minus sign because we are going to solve this anyway and find its root. It is going to be lambda raised to n, a1 lambda raised to n minus 1 minus a2 b1 lambda raised to n minus 2, etc. Lastly, an b1 b2 etc. bn minus 1. Any eigenvalue of L is root of this equation. So, lambda will be a root of this equation if and only if p lambda equal to 0. That is, if lambda raised to n equal to remaining polynomial on the right hand side. Let us put q lambda equal to a1, whatever expression is on the right hand side, that divided by lambda power n, let us call that as q lambda. So, what is q lambda? It will be a1 by lambda plus a2 b1 by lambda squared, etc. Lastly, an b1 b2 bn minus 1 divided by lambda raised to n. Therefore, lambda equal to, lambda is a root of p lambda if and only if q lambda equal to 1. Now look at q lambda. All the coefficients here are positive. So as lambda increases, q lambda decreases and it is a monotonic decreasing function.